Hi there! Happy Halloween, everyone, and welcome back to the Vagabond Arashikage channel. I am KH, and we are doing one last Halloween episode. Yeah! You thought it was over, but no. Okay, it's the night of Halloween. I mean, it's really late. It's probably 5 in the morning. And I should have been asleep right now, but I just had to do this one. So, in today's episode, we are gonna drink coffee. And talk about comic books. Yes. Now, by the time I get to release this video, Halloween is probably over, but you know what they say, right? It's always Halloween somewhere, right? Okay, now, this is a very special comic book we're reviewing today, and I say that, I throw that around a lot, but this time I'm serious, because the comic book we're talking about today, first of all, I wasn't sure I was going to get the chance to review this for Halloween. We're a little bit delayed, but it got here at least just in time, and I wasn't even sure I was going to get the chance to review this comic book at all. And you're like, KH, my dude, what are you talking about? I'll tell you. So, okay, let's just jump right in. In today's episode, we are going to talk about Lone Tales Volume 1, featuring Whistleblower and Odyssey. Okay, now the reason I wasn't sure I was going to get the chance to review this is because this was a Kickstarter project. So this is set in the Snow universe, and this universe is like a comic book project between some friends, and this one here was on Kickstarter. I backed it on Kickstarter, but I wasn't sure if it was going to pull through. Luckily it did. I'm really glad it did. And yeah, so I got the chance to read this. And before I continue and take you through like all the usual stuff, like writers, illustrators, I just want to say I 100% recommend that you go and check this comic book out right now. I mean, maybe not right now because you're probably asleep, but if you didn't get the chance to get your fill of Halloween horror comic books, or October was really busy and you still want some really good comic book to check out or some good horror, definitely give this one a go. I had a blast reading this from start to finish, and I really enjoyed both stories. Yeah, so I just wanted to say that. Now, yeah, where do we start? Well, okay, it was also extra fun for me to read this because this comic book, one of the stories, was co-written by my friend and former boss at the comic book store I used to work at, Outland, Mr. Luke Barnes. So, extra fun to get to read this. Yeah, okay, let's just start. So, Lone Tales is a comic book published by Black Spot Comics. And you can see here on the spine, there's a black spot. 2 stories. The first story is written by Will Gillingham and illustrated by Stuart McGarey. And letters are by Nick Goode and Harry Hughes. Okay, I'll just start with this story. So the first story is a science fiction detective noir story. And I'm not gonna give away too much in either story. I want you guys to enjoy this for yourself. But the first story is a really cool detective story. You have this detective waking up, and he has a memory loss, and he has to kind of figure out what has happened to him, and he has this brand on his hand, and this is like the brand of criminals. Yeah, this is a very dystopian sci-fi setting, and both stories are set in London. This is like 2079, and the second story is later. That is in 2154, I believe. Now, yeah, this story kind of has that really cool, dark, dystopian feel, kind of like Minority Report and Blade Runner. It's very dark, and I really love the illustrations and the colors. Sometimes it's using a lot of red tones, and whenever I saw these red like colors, for me that was like, oh, okay, something bad's gonna happen. It's like danger, and it also uses these blue tones in other parts. Very, very nice illustrations and a really cool story. Okay, don't want to give away much more. So our next story is a very intense zombie horror story. And let's just start with the usual stuff. So the second story, Odyssey, is written by Luke Barnes and Nick Goode. The illustrations here are by Harry Hughes, and letters are by Nick Goode and Harry Hughes. Okay, so this story is set later, and here we have this total chaotic infection outbreak, and the story is about a family that are trying to get to this evac point, and they have to get from one part of the city to the other, and it's really crazy. Like, everything is gone totally nuts, and you have all these infected zombies all over the place. So it's very like intense, and I enjoyed this one a lot. And yeah, about the story, it was cool to read this because when you do like a comic book like this, which is two stories in one, and you're not going to tell the story over 10 volumes, you have to be, you're kind of limited to how you want to tell your story. So, for example, also in the first one, you have the story about the character, but I feel in both The Whistleblower and Odyssey, the writers do a really good job in kind of giving you some insight to the world and like what's going on, and they do really good world building. But at the same time, this comic book doesn't hold your hand and like give you all the information. So I'm sitting with a lot of questions after having read this one. And yeah, so okay, let's get back on track. So it's about this family trying to get to the last ship that is leaving Earth, and they have only so many hours to get to the right place, and you have all these zombies all over the city. It has this 28 days later kind of feeling to it. Like, the zombies are just really frenzy and brutal and fast and vicious. So this is not like your George Romero slow walking zombies. Yeah, so everything's really bad, and you follow the characters as they're trying to escape. So you have a lot more action in this one, but the comic book still takes the time to slow down in some parts and let you get to know the characters. And yeah, and because I don't know Nick, but I know Luke, I have my thoughts on maybe what parts he wrote. I would love to get Luke to come on the show and talk about this comic book sometime if he has the chance. Anyway, very cool story. The illustrations are amazing. Here as well, you have a lot of use of red. It's very violent. Yeah, check this out. Really cool. I normally show more than I'm gonna do today because, as I said, I want you guys to read this for yourself. Yeah. Okay. So that's it. I don't think I'm gonna spoil anything more than that. So if you want to check out something really cool, you can find this at Outland. You can order it at Outland. Yeah, or probably elsewhere as well. Lone Tales Volume 1. I hope we get the chance to get a Volume 2. And yeah, thanks guys. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I hope you had a fun time with all the crazy videos we did in October. This will be our final Halloween episode. But yeah, there'll be more fun. We're not that far from Christmas, so yeah, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Yeah. Sleepy time, Mr. KH.